Hello again. Welcome back. My name is Carlos, and I'm taking you for a quick spin here and showing you some of the things we're bringing forward in our pilot. If you just landed here and haven't seen the first video, I'd recommend you do so that you can actually connect the dots and see where we're coming from. Now, what I'm showing you today belongs to the roadmap and pilot capabilities realms, which means that our forward-looking statements and our safe harbor applies here from now on and from now onwards. And with that, let's kick it off again. So if you were here in the first video, you remember that we essentially delivered two omnichannel flows, a very basic route to chat queue, route to your standard chat queue omnichannel flow. And then from here, we built another more elaborated in which we are grabbing the contact as chats are coming in, and from there we're making a decision as to say if customer is VIP, then route the customer to the VIP queue, otherwise route the customer to the standard chat queue. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually start a brand new flow. This time instead, what we're going to do is leverage the skills-based routing capability. Remember, there are a couple of housekeeping things that we're going to do. Let's go ahead and create those resources. As we move along with this functionality, these resources will already be built in, and it'll be even much quicker. For the moment, let's go ahead and create them. So I need to create two resources here, two variable resources. If this is sounding not very familiar to you, I recommend you go back to the first video and check out the explanation that was given there as well. I'm going to create a second resource here. Is going to be a variable, is going to actually going to be a record type of variable where essentially I want to grab the chat transcript object here so that I can manipulate it across the flow as I need to. It's also going to be an input variable. And also, we need to create a third resource here where we're basically going to pass in the skills that we want our flow to leverage to do the proper routing. You can call this whatever you want, list of skills, skill list, I love skills, you get the point. Skill list, I'm calling it. It's actually going to be a record variable. It needs to allow multiple values, as in multiple skills, and basically it references the skill requirement object. This particular one, I needed to pass both inputs and outputs. This is the way the add skill requirement bundle action works. So we're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. We're going to go ahead and grab the contact. The chat record already has that contact ID coming in, so I'm going to go and leverage that. And so we grab the contact. And we're also going to get the case because we know that the embedded service pre-chat form gives it to us. It essentially creates a case for us. This is what comes out of the subject field in the pre-chat form. We know that there's a subject, we're going to be able to leverage that. So let's go ahead and get case for chat, input record, case ID. So we're first going to go ahead and get the contact, we're going to get the case, and from here, we can say we need the chat skill requirement. This is where we're basically gonna call our skill lists. This is where we're gonna choose the skills that are relevant to us at this point. I can add multiple skills if I would need to. I could add skill levels and additional skills and priorities here. For the moment, we're just going to stick with one skill. We need to pass it as an output as well. This is a necessary step. We need to make it an input and an output. That's the way this flow action works. Perfect. So we have the contact, we got the case. Now we're adding the chat skill. Next, let's add a decision node in which we can define something of the sort. If the subject contains, or if subject is about order inquiry, for example, let's go ahead and grab the case and we can use the subject of it and say if it contains order, then we also need an additional skill, which is going to be the add order skill. I need to pass in the list of skills that we created earlier and need to target that order related skill. There's a necessary step, remember, that I need to actually make this available as an output so that I can pass it further along. And from here, we're basically going to need to route this to the necessary skills. So route to skills, we're going to pick up that chat record ID. And instead of using the route to queue, we're going to use route to skills. And this is where we're going to leverage the skill requirements that we created leveraging the skill list earlier. Okay, final step, we need to call a routing configuration for this to work. And so let's leverage the routing configuration we had created previously for the chat. Let's finally connect the dots here. I get the contact, I get the case for it. If this is about an order, then we can go ahead and route to skills. Otherwise, if it isn't about an order, I'll just leverage the chat skill on its own. Great, so here we are. Let's save this flow. Let's call it chat advanced routing, and now we can activate it. Okay, so if customers wants to chat about orders, it will require the chat skill and the order skill. If not, it will only require the chat skill. You probably notice that there are 3 skill requirements configuration possibilities here. In the article related to this video, these functionalities are explained. Feel free to check it out there. So that makes it for our second video around leveraging omni-channel flow for skills-based routing. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.